Hello everyone and welcome to another pick a card reading. Today's subject is, the title is Messages from Beyond the Veil, but just give me a few moments to tell you exactly what that means. Just this April, we had a very rare meeting of Jupiter and Neptune in the sign of Pisces, the home sign of both of these planets. And this is a very big deal in so very many ways. This conversation changes the world, our customs, our collective feeling. It changes so much in spirit. So of course that needs a couple of years, perhaps 10 years, perhaps more, perhaps some elements of it hundreds of years to actually, take place in our world, to arrange it according to the spirit. But whatever that does collectively is one thing, but of course this conversation also touched our lives individually, one way or another, and it is in this moment, this remaining time of the autumn, let's say, and even going into the winter a little bit, when that energy individually comes back in our lives, like a massive wave in the ocean. It reaches us again now. So this pick a card reading is basically trying to give you a little bit of guidance, or just simply said, magic, mystery of whatever is coming back to your life. It can be something karmic, emotional, family stuff, anything in the domain of Pisces, but mostly spiritual, psychological, something that was started in spirit, in ether, back in April. And of course, whatever was started back in April is part of your larger past, so to speak. So it is definitely life-changing, regardless of where this falls in your personal chart, because Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces is still the energy of communion. So it affects all of us, because Pisces takes us as just one. Everything and every soul is just one. We're truly just reflections of one another. Anyway, so I am using a past method. I know that advice is usually to leap away from the past, but there are some methodologies, techniques, so to say, that are very golden and will be immortal, so to speak. And the pre-selected pick a card readings are definitely one of them. So we have 4 symbols to choose from, and I am going to admit that I found these in the graveyard when I was visiting my mom. It was just there, so of course I picked it up and I'm gonna use it. But don't be creeped out by that. So there is a mouse. The first. There is the dolphin, a dolphin. Second. There is a butterfly. The third. There is a harp, what I would say as harp, this musical instrument. It is a harp. So these are the symbols to choose from. And I'm just going to allow you a couple more seconds. And then we'll get straight to the little mouse. I'm just gonna carefully put these away so I don't mix them up. So yes, the mouse. So everyone who has chosen the mouse. So you had the 6 of Earth, which in tarot, of course, is the 6 of Coins. Now, I do get that this card is actually encouraging you to keep the energy flowing. A lot has happened materially in your life over the past 6 years, and especially highlighted in the past 6 months. So, yeah. And this is where you overcame a lot of challenges. You, through a lot of other things happening in your life, relationships, family, you needing to discover your true talents. But that happened. But it wasn't enough. You also had to discover which talent you passionately are in love with. So a lot of choices, a lot of soul grinding. Also a dark night of the soul for those of you guys who've chosen this. This mouse also tells me the year of the rat in Chinese astrology. And if I'm not mistaken, that was 2020 perhaps. So actually 2020, 2021 was a big karmic year for you. When it was also on one hand about survival, so maybe some listeners who chosen the mouse, rat, whatever, the rodent, also had either medical procedure or a powerful detox or the physical body. Something to do with the physical body. You needing to either change a routine, quitting something, or going back into healthier routine. But that was also just one part of it. This, energetically and spiritually, however this period translated in your life, it was almost like the universe helping you, your own unconscious helping you keep the energy flowing, unblock the material energy. Because regardless of how your life and material situation was, decent or whatever qualifier you would, but for some it wasn't decent. For other people it was decent, but happiness was not there, and the five senses were not reacting to anything, any stimuli. And the reason for that, because the energy had to keep on going. Don't get me wrong. You did what you had to. You had to hold down stability. And the only way you're being, because you're not a typical person, let's say. So you had to kind of create a blockage, but as in, one needs still water as well. So flowing water is great, and it has 10 trillion benefits, but still water also has its uses. Still water, like let's say a lake, can offer what rivers don't, let's say. The oceans itself, well, are more still than dynamic in a river kind of way, if you know what I mean. So if this Six of Pentacles represents the great flow that can bring so very many things in your life, absolutely, but when you need stability, then the flow has to quiet down. So for some people it turned into a still lake, for other people just a tiny stream that barely left anything through. But it was a year when, you had to mobilize the energies. That means to change inner values, to change how you see value system, money, income, material stability, and what happiness in life is. And that led you to the inside, that led you to spirit, and that led you back into matter, but the real life values. The real values of it. So nature, natural living, countryside, land, plants, trees, anything like that became your number one priority in life, regardless. That is what your soul is calling you to, and not necessarily in the sense of a soul calling. No, it answered your question, what delights your five senses? That delights it. Because that's the dimension you need to, the dimension of nature, where your five senses let's even say 6 senses, because you discovered your sixth one will start to tingle. And it's gonna be, you know, the only way for you to, how should I say, keep happiness in your every single day life for as long as you live. Because you are the kind of person who needs that. Why? Because look at the image. You share it in excess. You let it flow it through you. You don't conserve it. So your happiness means other people, animals, beings, plants, trees, spirits, energies is happiness as well. Magician. Now this is self-explanatory. Your mindset is different. A lot of things are different in your life, but you're no longer the fool. You're no longer the zero who started this journey. You already have skills. You already have a new type of intelligence. You already have a new, let's say, mindset. And you kind of need to, the devil, keep on doing your stuff. Like, you really, really need to keep on shining. And basically, why am I saying shining? Because something that is very important to you has to do with self-expression. So, that is what kind of shining means. I'm so very sorry I had to pause for a second because, well, speaking about Scorpio season, the Stephen King movies, well, out of all the items, it's my washing machine that got possessed. I don't know what darkness is thinking to actually attack the washing machine, but it does cause a lot of inconvenience, I tell you that. Anyway, I'm so sorry about this. So, as I was speaking, a self-expression to generate your light, to dare to infuse whatever it is you're doing, a business, a transaction, something you need to acquire, a talent that you need to bring to a higher level, or maybe your professional life, your family, a home, a living situation, something that you are, it's not just you, it's you 50% you and 50% the universe. So actually both of you are really hell-bent on upgrading. And nothing can get in your way. The world and whatever obstacles external reality might have thrown your way, well, it didn't get in your way as it should have, even if some did, let's be honest here. But this is where now it's in your hands. Dare to believe in yourself. Dare to dream big. And when I say dream big, it's not fantasy. Whatever you're dreaming is just allow yourself in mind, in spirit, in thought, in emotion, in feeling to be who you need to be. And this is where the devil represents Capricorn, solid, adaptable, the mountain goat. The mountain goat cannot really be destroyed by, how should I say, classically, the forces of nature, because it truly learned to adapt. And even internally, maybe the mountain goat might be one of the few animals who doesn't really have cancer ever, because it eats a certain, I'm not sure how you call it, a herb that only grows in the mountain, a beautiful white little flower, whatever. So you can see how Capricorn is also rewarded for its adaptability by nature herself. So replace nature with reality, your reality. If you allow yourself to grow, if you allow yourself to perhaps get out of mouse mode and truly start growing stronger, better, by allowing yourself to dream this about yourself into existence. And by no means is it some kind of egoistic, selfish dream, let me become an influent person and stuff, just for you to live your truth and share the value that you have. whatever it is that you have to give, a teaching, word, art, whatever, be sure that it's more than needed and necessary in the world, and it is part of the future, not necessarily right now your own, because for you it's not as important as it is for other people who will find your whatever this is, as I said, business, life path, career, you becoming their neighbor or whatever, will find it infinitely valuable. So basically, this is kind of encouraging you to get real, to dissociate whatever you desire, whatever you're already into, you're working on it, you're in it, you're it. Dissociate it from fantasy and let it become a dream that is already real. That is basically, let's say, the secret of how you move things faster and how you get, let's say, more support from the self, from anything, anyone. Now, of course, this is a deck which I really, really love, but this is not tarot. This is more astrology. So I would like to extract a card from here of how this would translate energetically. Well, I don't need to speak more. This is just Taurus, the earthly Aphrodite, exactly as I said. The five senses. Now, the moon in Taurus is the six of coins. Now that you know, without a doubt, what happiness means to you, who you are within your happiness, what fulfills you, you need to pursue it. You need to grow it. You need to share it. You need to be it more and more. With each passing day, more and more. Don't, as I said, there was a moment when you had to make things still in your life, maybe 18 years ago, 9 years ago. But now that you released the energy and it's flowing, like, you need to gather it. You need to, make it your own. You need to use it. The water, the flow. You have to water your garden. And this is an oracle card. The big picture. Yeah, exactly, the big picture. And celebrate differences. How different you are to just your 6 year ago self, 6 year ago life. How different your values truly are within you, and yet how not so different, because you feel more yourself than ever. Maybe only when you were a child and you were in an innocence did you feel the same way. So that's the big picture. If you feel the same innocence, if you feel the same things birthing, growing in your life as when you were a child, you can imagine that your reality will mirror that soon. So this is like a big encouragement that, the Neptune and Jupiter conjunction, because Venus was part of that, and Venus is part of the activation energy of that, even now the trine she holds with Neptune and then Jupiter. So Venus, the power of love. And love for you doesn't have to be the, philosophical love, the acceptation of love, the ethereal emotion of love, because you're expert at that. The magician, you might be even a mercurial. What you need is lived. You can define it as pleasure, but when pleasure is shared in a different way, when pleasure makes you a 10 times more efficient, kinder, valuable professional, neighbor, mother, father, whatever role you play in your life, whatever roles, multitude of roles you play, if whatever pleasure, whatever delight, whatever happiness gives you so much strength, then why feel guilty when you have it? So yes, this is for everyone who chose the rat or mouse or whatever this little creature is. Thank you so much, and I do hope this was helpful. And until next time, bye for now. So, hello everyone who has chosen the Dolphin. Yes, I did forget for a millisecond which group followed. So, the Dolphin followed. And your card is 6 of Fire, which is 6 of Wands in Tarot. But this, I'll show you the deck. This deck depicts it even further as a victory dance, but even deeper as a ritualistic victory dance. It is clear that the spirit has triumphed here. It is clear that your heart, your courage, your passion, your creativity has triumphed here. For some people, it's not just them personally, it's your child. 6 of Wands. The child energy. Your child or someone who you deeply, deeply love. Maybe even parent, of course, because you might be the child. So there is a strong, strong energy of fulfillment here, but the fulfillment was extraordinarily difficult. Maybe it took 6 years. This was a battle, but what with? A situation, a condition, a mental health issue, a depression, your life falling apart, your family falling apart, conflicts, divorce, you not feeling very sure of yourself, feeling lost. Whatever this is, there is triumph here. The Star. But whatever you fought for, and whatever trials and tribulations, life threw at you, it was for your future. Because would your life have stayed that way? Speaking about the family dynamics, the relationship, the career, or whatever personal, spiritual, soul level, psychological dilemma, blockage, karmic entanglement, in the negative sense, of course, whatever you overcame through the power of heart, well, would you have been spared of that? Or would not have flared up in your life when it did? Your future could have not been so bright. So whatever troubles, pains, heartache, heartbreak, need to fight, need to survive, survival you went through, whatever challenges, adventures you went through, the pain, the inconvenience, the energy, the effort was definitely worth it, because this was necessary for your future. So now that your life is truly different now, but you mostly in feeling, in how who you are in your heart, better said, who you are in the deep core of your creative center. Because you, don't get me wrong, you were always a wonderful person. You were always a person who shared, who fought, who strived for bigger things, who always strived for others, for the happiness of others. You had many moments of courage and bravery in your life, yet still you never ever had the true acceptance of the self, and in a way you never saw your life, your situation, and your own spiritual path, regardless of what specifically that was. You never saw it as the creator, the source, call it whatever you want, being actually passionately, fervorously, now in love with you. That's the word I would like to use, but not in that sense. Who isn't in love with their creation? If you're an artist, if you're a cook, if you're a mom, if you're a dad, then of course you're passionately in love with your creation, whatever that might be. If you're a YouTuber, you also have to a little bit accept at least your creation, that it's there and it's meant to be there. At least that's the minimal requirement. So, yes, that is how your future is shaping. But we also have the Queen of Swords. Now, heart, courage, creation, because this Six of Fire also tells me that something needs to be born out of your heart and even your gut. When I say gut, I of course refer to the solar plexus, the chakra. But you might be feeling tingles in your gut, or some people actually avoid. It's scary because it's not a pleasant feeling, but it means that something is definitely wanting to be born out of you. And you need to open your mind, open your mindset, open and actually allow your mind to reconfigure itself. Libra, you see, because your mind needs to allow certain things to be possible for you. As in your mind, when you hear or think about a situation, a person, something, a plan, a possibility, not to think immediately it's impossible, but actually just to welcome it. If it's possible, I welcome it. If you replace that, the impossible, unlikely, improbable, and never gonna be me, of course I know other people but not me. If you delete this line and insert the command, well, if it's possible, I welcome it, why not? Prove me wrong. If it's possible, then let it be possible. If you just do this, things get quicker. But the Queen of Swords also represents ration, like down to earth communication, contracts, decisions, choices, your truth in a very legal way, even that needs to be executed soon. So, okay, there is a lot has happened and your future is finally there. But now you need to start, making the choice by choice, option by option. You need to make it your own. And speak your truth. Speak openly your truth. No more hiding. No more anything. This shortcut. When it's you and your life and your story, well, you need to be the Queen of Swords and tell everyone what is you and what you cannot accept. So speak your truth. Just like the other piles, I'm also going to be using astro cards as additional guidance. So yeah, we have this, where this Aquarius and Leo, like this confirms Leo, Aquarius, the heart and the mind. But look, when both are free, parachute. So can you imagine the free fall, but a safe free fall? Because this person, to get there, he already processed the risks and all of that and probably had a lot of practice. And by the looks of this, he's a master of falling. But that's past work. Yet, regardless, it still feels like the first time when jumping. 'Cause, but it's safe. So basically, courage, Leo, courage. but Aquarius, Uranus, risk. When the two met so much that they became good bedfellows, that means that it's safe to risk something. The master knows how to risk safe. And you're a master at something. Your heart triumphed. So, you know, and the other that popped out, Jupiter and Mercury. Sagittarius, again, the oppositions, Leo, Aquarius, Gemini, Sagittarius. Gemini is mind, and Sagittarius is the higher belief, the philosophy. The mind itself is nothing without the philosophy animating it. So you've done something. So all you need is an alignment, and there it is. Now I'm going to be using some oracle cards. Trust your own understanding. This is also self-explanatory. This is your own understanding. The experience as your heart, love, courage, bravery, fighting for yourself, fighting for whatever you went through. That triumph because of your heart. And how you triumphed is susceptible only to your understanding. That's your wisdom. That's your power. And expansion. Maybe it's time to share your own understanding with others. Maybe it's time to share this courage that you had. Share your story. So the guidance here is allow. Allow yourself to grow. So thank you so much for listening. I hope this was helpful. And sending everyone who chose the Dolphin many blessings. Hello everyone who has chosen the butterfly, because I think that was the third, the butterfly. So your card is the Three of Water, which in tarot would be the Three of Cups. Now this represents that your life has changed very, very much. But one of the changes that was perhaps the most permanent, so to speak, is relationships, social connections, including with family, including with everyone, including what types of people you can accept in your life and what not. So this is where either this is a massive 7th house shocking change or an 11th house big transformation, because you change to the very core of yourself. This is where certain people who you could not totally understand once in your life, the dreamers, the lost artists, people who stay in a certain kind of disadvantage or something that you see not so good, and they don't suffer, and you don't never understood how that is not negative to them. Is it ignorance or what? You changed the values within you, what type of people you value. So you can imagine that the blessing in your life came in with a few people, but who are gold, who are like fountains of inspiration. Maybe these people you could not yet call your lifelong friends, but your soul does respect them, and that's how you know that it's real. That's how you know that there's admiration there, there is acceptance, there is love, there is openness. So people, some at least three of cups, maybe 3 people, or a love triangle where the end result is not conflict, separation, but the union of 3, or who knows, actually. But this is very, very positive. Inspiration, friendship. If you're an artist, spiritualist, therapist in service of anything, this means the flow of support, encouragement, feedback, chances, resources, small but constant help. And maybe spring next year is going to be extremely important to you, because autumn, not this year, but last year in 2021, was important for you. And we have the Seven of Cups, your dreams, choices, and the Lovers, and it was reversed. The Lovers was reversed. So, the Seven of Cups comes as an explanation. Your dreams have changed. And when I say dreams, socially or relationship wise, when you were young, or when you were even a child, when you were in a certain kind of situation in life, for example, related to a job, studies, a neighborhood, a place, a city, whatever surrounded you kind of determined you to have a certain kind of aspiration, desire, who you wanted to become, what kind of skills, powers, but when I say power, of course not superpower, but personal strengths you wanted to have. And a lot of them you accomplished. But the accomplishment was like, bittersweet. You did it, but the accomplishment meant it wasn't me. The bigger accomplishment is that you found this truth that, okay, but that's not me. That doesn't make me happy. It's not really who I am. Or I have bigger and better dreams than this. Or this just, or I did it. It's wonderful. But now let's move on to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next, until it just became a big cycle. Whatever fulfills you, so to speak. And what does that have to do with people? Well, when you accomplished the dream, there were people there. And when you left the dream, you left people. So people always circulated in your life. You might have left the person, as in emotionally, but not physically, let's say. So you had a lot of friends, a lot of people, a lot of acquaintances in your life, in your sphere, who, I'm not saying some, of course, didn't belong there, end of period, but others were just like fillers. Why keep them? Or why should they keep you? But you were younger. So all of that stripped down radically, because there was a massive fear of yours, of solitude, loneliness, being alone. So you said even fake friends, and when I say fake friends, not that the people were fake in themselves, but the situation was not very, very real, because you were just with them not to be alone, and many people dragged you down. They were lovely souls, but if socially, morally, mentally, intellectually, philosophically, whatever sense, they were much lower than you, but, so there is no hard feeling, there is no doom and gloom, but the Lover's Reverse tells you that there is a lot that you owe to yourself, that you missed out on because of needing to pursue all of this. And some are dreams, others are needs. Like life gave you no choice but to take this job, to make the compromise with this person. So this is not your mistake, this is life. This is hard life, and you're a soul who did not want an easy life. You want to know what life feels like. So that means also needs, necessities, crisis, scarcity, fake people, and tough choices, when usually there is no wrong choice. Sometimes in life there is no right choice. Everything you would do would be wrong, so to speak. And maybe you have a massive wound with partnership, a divorce, or maybe a partner who just so wasn't like you, so didn't get you, and basically you hurt yourself. You're away, you're free, but boiling in juices that weren't even your own for years didn't do any good to you. So just like for the other groups, let's see the energy of this. Yeah, this is pretty obvious. You need to stop. Stop shying away. You need to stop hiding the kind of person who you know deep in your heart of hearts that you are. Like, don't make yourself stupid. You know that you're a magnetic person. You have natural born magnetism. It really doesn't matter how you physically look like, because chances are people tend to be attracted to you, see you, let's say, more beautiful than you actually are, but that is natural magnetism. So it's really in the cogs what makes you tick. It doesn't matter how you look like, how you speak like, because everything you do has magnetism to it. Now, giving the extra feeling that you are both a charismatic person, highly intelligent, empathic, and very, very moral and decent, but you have a very big fun side to you. You're much more fun person than the biggest fun person you know in your life, and you know this, and you kind of deny it. You fooled yourself to forget who you were. Venus Libra. Exactly. How do you want an authentic life? In partnership, in contracts, in jobs, in whatever else meets you in outer reality. If you hide who you truly are, and who are you truly? A very, very, very passionate person, extremely fun. Maybe life, you feel like life beat you and made you be like this Capricornian, diligent, strong, tough, I can do everything, let's do it, let's take initiative. That is one side of you, but who you are in the core of your being is an adventure, a fun person, a comedian, an art, someone that greatly eclipses the strong warrior, Capricornian, or paternal figure. Who you are. Actually, you are a source of inspiration, cheer, fun, adventure. Stop hiding your beauty away, because nothing good can come out of that. New butterfly. You have chosen the butterfly because you value freedom of expression, laughter, lightheartedness, the fun. And when I say fun, I don't mean the earthly fun side of life. I mean that in the universe, in the cosmos, the big picture is always non-personal. Let's not take it personally. Let's take it light-heartedly. It is what it is. That kind of fun. So the highest quality fun. Not the Joker fun, but the elevated, spiritual, diplomat kind of fun. The Hermes, the Mercury kind of fun. Pause. Exactly, pause and celebrate differences. You are different already. So all you need to do is basically, exactly as this says, pause, come out of your shell, and show that you're different. Show who you are. Show the difference, pause, and show the different side of you. Because other people, reality, the world, whatever, will celebrate it. It won't. You will get the opposite reaction that you believe. So, like, you truly need to get out and just show everyone, the world, including the universe, including the divine, just who you are at the very core of your heart. And maybe that is what that Jupiter and Neptune try to do in your life. It tried to dissolve the seriousness. It tried to dissolve the fact that life should be taken as such, as such. No, life should be taken as, I'm not saying necessarily an adventure, but as a puzzle game, as a game that makes you deeply think and use all your cogs, definitely. And that's fun. So thank you so much, and many blessings. So hello everyone who has chosen the last and final symbol, the harp. So for you guys, we have the 10 of air. Now this has a kind of heaviness to it because something irreversible has happened in your life that you always kind of feared, and you always thought that that would be your final defeat and life would not be the same without. That would be bye bye. Not necessarily in the sense of suicide, but I might, guess that some listeners have considered that as well. So it was not an easy period. It was not an easy cycle. I am so very sorry. I had to pause a little bit because this Jupiter entering Pisces, like it just F's up my washing machine. Anyway, so as I was saying, an ending or an irreversible change, a feeling of it's over. This can be a relationship losing a person or a big fear coming to life. As in, what if I lose my job? What if I get into trouble? What if I get ill? What if I won't be able to do this and that? What if, what if? And, the world reversed. And the Nine of Swords. Look at the Nine of Swords. The fear power. Manifesting your fear. But that fear which you manifested and came true and struck you. And as I said, this was something very, very big. No, not only it didn't defeat you, but it had to come to life because that was the only way you could ever learn to trust yourself without ever fearing your lacks, so to speak. You had to see that you can survive anything. You had to see just how strong you are. This had to happen the way it happened. And this is where the 10 of air is guaranteeing you that Jupiter and Neptune conjunction basically represents the finality of it. It happened, you've gone through it, and it did things in your life which you ironically could not have expected, where the fear turned into courage, and where the ending turned into freedom. Because you're moving away from something ancient, old perhaps. Because the energy of this is you're moving away from a family pattern, a karma, a configuration, a dynamic that has always played out one way or another in the lives of family members, parents, grandparents, whatever. And for you, it's broken. You broke it. You're moving away. It's never ever gonna affect you. And the world reversed is very important because that reality, that life, that cycle, that karma is gone. Is no longer you. You're ripped from it. Let's say, the silver cord is cut. You're free. This speaks about your freedom. And maybe now, no, the world reversed. You only have your freedom. Something needs to how should I say, give you a sense of direction. Because, and also the V formation of the birds, that is also a rune which speaks about transition and progress. Transition in your case is progress. Maybe you don't have anything solid yet, but you have different kind of fears within your body, within your mind even. You also fear happiness. So if you manifested one kind of fear, right now you're manifesting the other kind of fear, the other extreme. So prepare yourself. So just like for the other piles, I chose oracle cards. I chose astro cards. These are too many, so I'll choose another one. But I'll keep this. Okay. Gemini Pisces. Maybe you're actually feeling this right now. Something ended, or something already ended 1,000,000,000% in thought. Now this is Pisces, that which is ending. The Gemini part, this is even the present moment astrology. We have Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces, Mars in Gemini, and they square. And that square on and off is going to be the signature of Mars retrograde in Gemini. The mind and the soul. So basically, the ending has to be also processed mentally for what it truly is: freedom, a new beginning, and then that to be allowed. Because Pisces, of course, it means finality, the termination. But the other quality of Pisces is the magic, the allure that starts a new adventure. And the mind also, and the other. Now this is self-explanatory. Time to process, process it emotionally, mentally, spiritually, in any way, shape, and form, because then it begins. This is what comes. This is who you are now. The freedom gives you power. So when things will settle down even more within you, and as timing, how much time you need, then game is on, because you are very, very good at something and you have a big goal. You are gonna do something big with your freedom. That freedom, of course, is karmic, but there is a new chapter coming. Infinite blessings. Open your heart. Keep your dreams alive. So exactly. This is where the heaviness, the fear is finally over. You're getting out of fear mode. Fear, and not mentally, not psychologically, but actually spiritually. Because there is the spirit of fear. Now, the spirit of fear usually blesses people who come with a very, very diligent, dignified, but excessively proud soul. Like this, the proud soldier. And it is the spirit or spiritual expression of fear being bombarded a lot that kind of humbles the soldier. Because the fear has to manifest for one to battle it. After the battle, the fear is gone forever, but the courage is also staying in the heart of the warrior forever. So, after that all being done, What comes next? Keep your dreams alive. The dreams are the fire that keep you going in your freedom. Open your heart because every warrior is susceptible to love, admiration. Like, look at the warrior. You think he's gonna be alone for long, or single for long, or not get what he wants. But it's justified because he's humble. In his humbleness, he also knows that the self deserves this and that and so much, and the self cannot be ignored. It can be put on the bottom of the priority list, but when it's the self's turn, then don't discriminate. And that's also the humble warrior. And infinite blessings, something will come that will feel ultimately like a true blessing. So thank you everyone who has chosen the harp. And of course, thank you everyone because this is the end of today's pick a card. Thank you so much for listening. And I'm wishing you everyone blessings. May the reverberation of the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction that happened this April, that we're experiencing right now, bless your lives with great abundance, healing, and let it dissolve all the hurt, all the fear, and all the bad in your heart. Thank you again. Until next time. Bye for now. And sorry for the pauses because of my possessed washing machine.